Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Joel, and this is A Stable Life. Well, the lower ring actually had an opportunity to take a breather for last night. Coming over here and taking a look at our mares, we're gonna give them a good hard once over, checking out their bodies and making sure they didn't have any problems or anything like that. Taking a look over our security footage and watching them last night, it actually looked pretty good. The mares were down and were able to get a good amount of food out of that round bale, which is awesome. Taking a look at how things are today, being that the mares are going to be out at night, I may need to do an overabundance of food in that feeder. We'll talk about it. And I may need to put another round bale out there in that feeder. It's gonna be pretty cold tonight, and I'm slightly concerned that they're gonna burn through their food before Tuesday, which is the next time that I put hay out. So that's something to consider and to keep in mind. Let's check in over here on Diego. Hey Diego, good morning. Looks like he is continuing to run in his path along the side there. We've made some changes to his grain to kind of compensate, make sure that he's doing well. Temperature is just going to continue to be getting colder today. Right now it's 32 degrees and it's dropping. It's going to drop all the way down to 14 tonight. They're calling for as low as 11, and it's going to be cold and windy all day. It's nice. As for the horses, some of them are up here ready. Others are down there playing. Look at Casino and Gavin. That's good to see. Saw Argento was running. Morning, Buster and Rocky. Everybody's just looking so beautiful today. But from an outside appearance, looks like our first night with the mares out was a success. And it's cool that I was able to do it on a Friday. So it just worked out that you guys were able to be with me on the day that we put them out and the following morning when you get to see them. So that's pretty cool. Okay, well, I'm gonna get hay in all the stalls. Now, something that we're gonna do is we gotta keep in mind that the mares and Diego are all gonna need to have hay in their stalls to make up for the fact that while they're out with the herd, for now, they're probably not eating as much. That will change as they get more integrated into the herd, but that's something that we have to keep in mind for now. Now, some of the horses, like as an example, George, very low on the herd, so he gets pushed away pretty quick. In the event that the horses decide that they don't want him there, he'll just leave. So to make up for that, we have hay in his stall. So some of these horses may end up just being a constant lifer, so to speak, where they just always will have hay in their stalls, kind of make up for that. Other horses just don't get it enough, and then we have to give it to them in a pelletized form in their feed. So that's why we like doing our individual feeding. It really comes in handy for each horse's disposition and how they handle themselves out in the pasture. We work with it, not against it. Forcing them to do something that they don't want to do isn't going to work. We have to work with them so that we develop a program both for their nutrition and for their comfort. So that way when their owner shows up, they see a horse that's happy, that's healthy, and then when they get on them, they're not fiery, spunky. Unless they want to be fiery and spunky, then they are, but that's a different point. Either way, I'm grabbing hay. Hay is done. Time to measure out some grain. That's everybody. Right now we are up to 24 horses, and then of course 2 miniature donkeys, making us feeding 26 animals. Twice a day, every day, all year, regardless of the weather. Well guys, nice thing about the lower ring now being open is I can feed the donkeys first. I have grain in all the stalls, just gotta get the donkeys. So we're gonna feed them next, and then we'll get Diego first, followed by the middle field, and then the big field. So that's pretty cool. I'll get you soon there, champ. I'll get you soon. Hey, what's up, boys? How's our good-looking donkeys doing today, huh? Grain for Rocky. Grain for Buster. Give him this flake. There you go, boys. What's up, Diego? Now I would close this door only because the mares are going to be in here, and sorry Diego, when the mares are in here I don't want them eating the donkey's hay. on the donkeys. That's a no bueno. We don't want that. I'll just park this over here, and then I'm gonna go get a lead rope for Diego. Yes, Diego does have a halter, and I can lead him by the halter. And you notice that I lead the mares by halter. But when Diego gets scared, he flies backwards really fast. And if you are hooked onto him with your hand to his halter, that's how you really hurt your shoulder. The lead rope allows you to kind of get some space. It doesn't immediately yank on you, and you can have the opportunity to kind of get out of the way if he's going forward or backward. It's safer. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're dealing with a hot horse. Now, when we get in this pasture with Diego, we're gonna close the gate immediately. And then we gotta speak in a soft, warm tone. Hey, buddy. Yeah, hey, buddy. Hey, Diego. You're okay. You're okay. Now, Diego likes people. He likes people a lot. There's no doubt about that. The thing is that he gets himself worked up and he gets scared. And when he gets scared, that's when he gets dangerous, because he can accidentally just run me right over. He don't mean it. See? He's a nice horse, really nice horse. You just don't realize that he's as big as he is. If he was a puppy, everyone would think it's fine. But he ain't a puppy. This is another thing to keep in mind. You don't ever want to hold the horse, and if Diego will allow me, like that. If you were to bolt, as you can see, the rope catches into my fingers, and then either I'll get severe rope burn or my hand will get caught, and then as he's galloping away, I'm now being drug. And you can see where his back hooves are, where my hand would be. Sadly, that has happened to people, and people have actually gotten really bad injuries in their hand to the point that they can no longer use their arm. So if you're leading a horse, never lead them like this. Make sure you lead them like this. That way when the rope pulls, it comes right out of the hand and it's not a problem. Diego, thank you for allowing me to demonstrate that. Slowly, slowly, you're okay. Shh, it's okay, good boy. That's it, Diego, good boy. He's just excited, he wants to get in his stall. You're okay. Slow, slow, watch your head. Watch your head. Good boy, good boy. Okay, now again, slow, slow. I go first. Watch your head. Good boy. Stop, stop, stop. Good. Go ahead, Diego, you can eat. Okay. Now he's scared that he's alone. So we're gonna get the other horses in. In previous times, when I let Diego in, the mares are already in. So when he looks to his right, he sees 3 horses. Hey, you have to think about these things. I know it seems that I'm maybe a little too comfortable with the horses, and it's just because I've learned what each of their ticks are, and I'll learn Diego's too. I already am, but they can always surprise you. So Honey's the first one in. That's interesting. See, does she know where to go? She's in. Boom, right to her stall. Wowzers. Good girl, Honey. Next one in is George. You're good, George. Bella and Sarah don't really know the protocol yet. This is more what I expected. Here comes Champ. Come on, boys and girls. I'll do guys. Come on, guys, let's go. Time to eat. There we go. Now Sarah saw me, but Sarah's not gonna go anywhere without Bella. Here comes Rebel. I'm gonna go close the door for Champ and George, just in case they finish their feed and then they start wandering to other stalls, or they're in someone else's stall. Don't need that. Honey knows what's up. What I'm experiencing right now is expected. It's the first night those horses are out there. They're really not gonna get this routine down for a couple of days, possibly a couple weeks. Each horse is different with how fast they can learn something. Unless they're Argento, in which case they've learned it a long time ago. They actively choose to not do it. And that's a whole other class of horse. All right, I'm pretty confident that Rebel's in. Yep, Rebel's in. And that gives Diego, see Diego's eating now. This is why I think Diego spent a lot of his time in a barn. He had horses on either side of his wall, and he stayed in there for a long time. Simmers down immediately once there's horses with him. But it's in a stall situation, not in a pasture situation. Here comes Bella and Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, hey, Sarah. There you go. Okay, Bella. Bella, you are supposed to go into your stall. That is what you're supposed to do. It's okay. Jack, you're riding up on her. Did you see that? Jack's usually the first one in. My suspicions were he was using the structure as a windbreaker. Don't worry, we're putting that blanket on and we were waiting for it to dry. So he came in, ended up with the mares. Bella didn't like that Jack was getting up behind her, and she threatened him as such. All good. Honestly, guys, that's a pretty great result for the first time the mares are out. We're gonna go in their stalls later, you and I, and we're gonna inspect them with a light, with some gloves, make sure they have no nicks, no bruises, no marks, and if they do, we immediately notify the client. But now we can let in the big field. Yeah, come on, boys. I'm gonna do nothing with Poncho. Let's see if he goes to his stall. Suede's not really helping, but yes, Poncho has learned his stall. Woohoo! Good news, guys. That's great news. Poncho learned his stall. Woo! All right, now I need to grab Argento, who is ever the troublemaker. Look at these two big boys coming in. Hey, Weather. Hey, Tucker. There's Gavin. Hey, Samson. Oh, don't have a casino in yet. Morning, Argento. Good morning. Here you go, brother. Hey, Poe. Okay, big field's in. All horses are in. So we've got 24 horses eating and 2 donkeys. So that's great. Oh, now we got 24 horses in. Sorry, Sriracha. I didn't get to that side of the barn yet. I didn't notice that. Beautiful. It's a good feeling once they're all in. Flew down into the big field with the 4-wheeler quick. Took a look. We're gonna need to put that 4th round bale we got yesterday out in the big field today. Middle field looks good. We're gonna grab our gloves. Let's check and see how these mares did last night. We're gonna start with Bella. Hey, Bella. Hey, Bella. All right, now the blankets hide a lot, so we're gonna start with the legs. I'm gonna use my phone's flashlight here. Muddy, but no blood, no cuts, no bruises, no dings. Looking at her back, looked like there was a tiny nip mark here, but it didn't break the skin or anything. That's okay. Yeah, everything's looking great. We're in here with Sarah, and I have noticed one thing, very tiny. Can you barely see that right there? See if the camera can focus. Just right there. It looks like a tooth right here. It just grazed it. Not that big a deal. You can kind of see the mark on the blanket. I was actually expecting something here because there's a rip in the blanket here, but no, there's nothing there. So I think that the blankets, what's nice about them is that they actually take the most of the beating. So it's kind of good that it's winter and that we're turning them out versus summer, because then that's something usually their coats get. But so far, 2 mares in, and there's only one very minute mark. Absolutely not a problem at all. Didn't even break the skin. So far so good, guys. We're doing really good. And now we're over here at Honey. Hey, girl. I really doubt that I'm going to see anything on her. What I was looking for this morning is if she was limping, and she wasn't, because she may have decided to try to run away, and in that instance, she could have hurt herself in that situation. So, but she's looking good. Honey, can I move you? Can I move you, honey? Yeah, just a little bit more. Thank you. Good. You're good. You're okay, girl. Ooh, thick coat. Very thick coat. No marks at all. None to speak of. Wow. Great. Oh, you can't ask for more than that. That's awesome. First night, and that's it. And it only gets better from here, not worse. So, that's a good feeling. Now, they're going to be on this rotation where they're only getting turned out at night for a while. We're not going to be turning them out with the rest of the herd for the big field for a little bit of time yet. We want them to get incorporated, make sure their weights get equalized, the herd dynamic is all set, and then we'll move on over to the big field. I fully expect Diego to be mixed into the herd faster than the mares, being that he is a gelding. But he could surprise me. He certainly has so far. I think it's just about time we let these horses out into the pasture. Follow along with me as we turn out the horses. Now today, we have a bit of a different turnout schedule, and this is why we're giving you a first-person perspective with turning out the horses. We're starting things off with Mr. Suede. Now, before we turn out Suede, who's right there, I'm gonna head out into the lower ring. I gotta close that gate over there, because that gate is the opening to the left run. And every time I turn out the horses into the middle field, well, they think that it's free run to get down here, and I put fresh hay down here. So we're gonna close this, making sure that's not an issue. No need to hook it, just gotta close it. Hey, there's a sun. Look at that. Shining its way on through. Shining bright like a diamond. Anyway, okay. We're gonna close this. Don't need the horses feeding back through and making it into the big field now, do we? No, sir. Okay, Suede, you're free to go, my man. Have a great day. Eat lots of hay. Don't waste any. Work hard for that stuff. Literally, right, Scoots? Okay. Now we can just let out horses for the big field. Start things off with Sriracha. We can see the horses have left us some presents. And as I'm turning out, I let out 4, let those 4 get a drink. Then I go and clean some stalls. There you go, Archer. There you go, Archer. Hey, champ. Now, George eats the grain that Declan drops here out of his mouth. So we let out Declan first. And Gavin, because that gives us our 4. And then I let out George so he can eat the grain. Oh, because I'm filming, he doesn't do it. Maybe Declan didn't drop it. No, there's a little there. George seems more interested in getting out into the big field today, I guess. Looks like Gavin and Champ are getting a drink. And there's George. So, good opportunity to clean some stalls. Oh, it's a good thing I'm wearing a hard hat. Oh, good stuff, champ. See, where did Suede go? Oh, he's already down at the feeder. Just got one more stall to do. Sriracha usually leaves something. Yep, there it is. He tried hiding it on me, but I see it. You may notice some of these stalls have sawdust put inside. That's up to the clients. We don't really provide sawdust. We used to, but people really took advantage of that. And, well, let's just say that it wasn't a financially responsible decision for us to provide sawdust. So we no longer do so, and if the clients want it, they're welcome to buy it. And if they keep it in their stalls, we'll even top it up for them if they so choose. Most of them don't. It's because the horses are in, as you saw. We let them in at 9:30, and it's 10:55 and they're out. So they were in for an hour. And that'll be the same case for tonight. So really, no reason to have sawdust. There you are, Danny. All right, now Leia likes to chase Jack. Hi, Jack. Okay. Poncho's pretty much our next one. Let's check and see. Looks like we got a couple drinking. So, looks like we're switching over to the middle field now. So the middle field, we got one horse on this side of the rope and the rest are on the other side, so. All right, Tucker. There you go, brother. Check the stall. Stall looks good. That's that. Move it over this way. Poncho's a little bit of a troublemaker. He likes to go in every single stall as you go down. So I'm gonna lead him out because otherwise I have to close every single one of these stall doors after I let the horses out. Looks like George is getting a drink. Good, Samson. Now with the lower ring, it's a bit different. With this herd dynamic, I can actually let all of them out at once, and they actually wait in lines to get a drink, so it's not as only let out 3 or 4. I certainly could let out only 3 or 4, but the rest of them get so upset because they feel like they're the ones that are staying in, so try not to do it that way. Once Obi goes, I can let out Poncho. And that's it for the middle field. So we'll let these guys kind of do whatever they're doing. I always check, sometimes Leia goes out with them. Leia, oh, she's right here. Okay, Poncho, you ready, brother? Yeah, he's ready. And then once all those guys make their way out of the lower ring, then we'll go and open up the left run, and then we can let out the mares. Hey, beautiful, you're coming with me. Da, 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 da. There goes George, he was the last one drinking, so here, Poncho. And then all we have left is Rebel and Weather, and then Diego. Here you go, Rebel. There you go, Weather. I think he's gonna go where he's supposed to. I'm gonna let those three finish drinking, and then as they're making their way down the hill, we'll turn out Diego. My goal is to try to do it a little closer this time so Diego actually sees the horses. I actually think he knows where they are. He's just scared, but call it a hunch. I pretty much have all the stalls cleaned. I know there's probably going to be a poop in Sarah's and Bella's stall. And I'm going to clean the lower ring today while Diego's out. That way I can keep a close eye on him. We got two horses drinking. We do. What about over here? Could check the cameras, but I'm just going to walk. Poncho and Weather. All right, well guys, I'm going to wait for these two to finish drinking, and then we're going to grab Diego. Looks like they're both done drinking. Poncho's down the hill. Weather's making his way. Now's that sweet spot where I'm going to grab Diego and let him out. Hey, Diego. What's up, brother? Yeah, come on, come on. Come on. All right, what about the middle field? How's things looking in here? Not yet, not yet. We're close, but not yet. Ooh, that sun feels good. All right, Casino, get him out, Leia. Get him out. Get him out. Come on, Casino. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Between this up here and that down there, that should be more than enough for the girls. There you go, Bella. There you are, Sarah. There you go, honey. Well, that's that. Okay. Well, guys, I think that's going to be it for morning feeding, barring any unforeseen problems. Welcome to the afternoon, guys. As you can see, all the horses are in the stable. Ended up having no issues with Diego because he stayed here the entire time. He didn't go anywhere. And interestingly enough, the entire herd came back while I was measuring out because they heard the feed buckets getting dumped. And all of them stayed down there looking at him as he was going back and forth, and they all were kind of looking at each other like, what is that horse doing? Like that, you could almost see like the connection going in between them all. Danny got a little closer and was like, bro, you okay? And he kind of just kept seeing Diego pacing back and forth, and he was like, okay, all right, and turned around and went back to the rest of the herd. So no fireworks, absolutely nothing there. Patience is key here, and that's gonna be what we see. You guys see 3 videos a week. Obviously, we're feeding 7 days, so that means there's 4 days that you guys aren't seeing filmed where the horses are being fed, and sometimes major improvements happen on those 4 days. So I'll keep you guys posted. Just make sure you're subscribed. Keep up to date on what's going on with all these horses. You guys have noticed that the past 2 videos, really the main thing we've been doing and working on is the horses. Well, not for nothing, but getting 4 horses at one time is relatively new for us. Usually we get 1 or 2, never 4. Within the span of 2 weeks. So that's pretty much our major focus right now, is getting these horses integrated. And we are actually doing a really good job at that. The mares now are out half the day, which is right on schedule with what we expected. And Diego is out half the day, which is a bit, well, right on schedule actually. Some of the geldings are usually ahead of schedule, but he's right on schedule. Things are going well, but that is pretty much our major focus. You might be curious, what's the big plans for 2024? Do you have any, and what's going on? Well, the next big thing that we're going to be working on here is spring cleaning. Now, it's way too cold for us to be working on spring cleaning, and it's still winter. But bring around mid-March, where our temperatures are hitting 60s on average, and staying that way. We're going to get started cleaning up all the pastures and getting all the horse manure spread on the fields and getting everything set up for the next manure season. But that's going to be a big job. I'm looking forward to that. You guys know there's lots of projects and there's always hundreds of things that we need to work on at the stable, but we have a finite amount of resources, so we really can only pick a few to work on and tackle each year. And sometimes something unfortunate happens that ends up kicking something that was way at the back of the list to a major priority. Fences are a pretty big priority for us this year. We have had a lot of trees that have fallen, and I guarantee you that some of them have fallen on fence lines. So a lot of tree cleaning, a lot of fence building, always with construction. We have a few projects coming, and I'll talk more about those as we get closer in time. But there's lots of big stuff coming, and it's just crazy to think that our stable's full. We haven't been full in a long time. We've always had 1 or 2 stalls open. Just seems to be the nature of the business. But right now, it's my understanding that we've got a couple that are just waiting to get here, with 1 stall that's technically open, but somebody has dibs on it right now, I guess is the phrase we'll use. I'm excited for the year, but for now, temperature's going down to 13 degrees at night. So we got to make sure all of our water troughs are set and ready, and then we got to turn the horses right back out. I spent a good part of the middle of my day just trying to get warm because I was pretty cold this morning. That strong wind coming in, whew, it gets to you. And on that note, all the horses are turned out. Everybody is in their respective pastures. The mares are where they need to be. Diego is in the left run. All the heaters are turned on. And I got some visitors. Pete and Milan, Pete's friend, are here. Pete was here, helped with some of the water heaters, making sure that everything's where they need to be. And Milan's learning a lot about horses. Yeah. Milan, so far, what's your favorite horse?
Probably Jack.
Jack? Yeah. Good pick, good pick. What about you, Pete?
Tucker.
Tucker? Good pick, good pick. Guys, comment down below what horse you enjoy seeing the most on the videos. And
well, how about this? Joel, what's your favorite horse?
That's Obi. That's kind of easy. That was pretty easy. My second favorite would probably be, honestly, Honey's making her way up there pretty high. I'm thinking Honey might be my second favorite. If you haven't,
don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed.
And as always, we'll see you in the next one.